Hello everybody, welcome to Sure Shot Archery. Anthony here, and in this video I am going to be sharing with you my experience using the Clicker Extension by A3D Archery. This is a pretty affordable 3D printed clicker extension, so a little bit different than the all solid metal ones. And I'm going to be giving you my feedback and experience with it in this video. Of course, there'll be links to the A3D Archery website and this particular product, plus all the other products they make. Go check them out. I've done a couple videos on other products they make, and overall they're pretty cool and pretty helpful. All right, so with that, here it is, the clicker extension all set up on my bow here. I even got the clicker all set up. We'll be talking about the click and do a little compare between, the clicker slapping against the plastic and the clicker slapping against the metal. I have two different bows here, and we'll be just do a little compare with that, just so you can get an idea on the sound difference. Other than that, just the overall look of this clicker extension is pretty cool with the Canadian maple leaf in there. The overall design, though, in my opinion, is a little bit blocky. It would be nice to have these corners here all kind of rounded and just give it more of a streamlined shape. Bows and stuff and a lot of archery products are pretty flowy. Even some of the more beefier sights and things from some manufacturers, they're pretty streamlined in a way. So it would be nice to see a little bit more of that, just from like an aesthetics point of view. I don't think it would really add to the functionality of it, but just looks wise and just attractive, how attractive the extension is. I think that would benefit it. In terms of performance, it works. It works better than just kind of sticking your clicker out there and making a home jig. So for not being made out of metal, it works pretty well. It is a little bit floppy, as I can wiggle it here. You can see it kind of bounce a little as I click this clicker. So it does have a little bit of shake to it, a little vibration. Not too bad. I was thinking 3D printed would be a lot worse. But overall, this main structure up here is pretty rigid. It only gets a little bit floppy when you start getting to the extremes. You wiggle down on this extreme. It just has a hard time. It's maintaining that forward and back really well because of this extra piece here. But the left and right, it's really kind of weak in. Not terribly bad. And it would be useful for trying to get a clicker extension on a budget, given the fact that this is probably like half price compared to most of the metal ones on the market. So if you want to kind of just check it out, because you're like, oh well, I've never shot with a clicker extension and I want to try XYZ indoor arrow here, and I need a really long arrow. Well, I'm going to see if it's going to work. Let me not spend a ton of money on a clicker extension. This one's pretty affordable. Slap it on and see how things work. It's not a bad angle. Wouldn't be a bad angle too for new archers and stuff, especially like kids, because kids are constantly changing their arrow sizes and stuff as they grow up. For me, it wasn't bad. I would probably opt still, personally, if I were to do a clicker extension long term, I would opt for a little bit more permanent, more structural solution. Not that I particularly like mounting an extension to my sight, because if I have to move my sight or whatever, then you're moving that around. I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me as much. It is nice that they have an integrated 6/32 thread in there, so you can thread in a majority of the clickers on the market, which makes this pretty versatile. You get some range with moving this back and forth. Like, the block's kind of big. It would be nice in a way if there was a little bit more adjustment, but then again, you can play with the holes. There's a whole bunch of holes in this top piece, and you can shift it in and out. So a little bit of play to get it where you want it, but not too bad. And not too bad for just like what it is. It's just a 3D printed clicker extension and then a built-in plate. So it's doing a pretty good job. So with that, I do want to get into the sound of the clicker. I mentioned it earlier in the video. So if we listen to this one without it. Not too bad. It's got a good a good solid sound. You definitely don't get that, traditional metal sound. So if I break out a bow that does not have one, same clicker by the way, same biter clicker, actually just two different Hoyts. This one, more of that metal ding, ding, so doom, doom. So a little change in the sound honestly had no effect in my shooting. I don't think it would have an effect in somebody else's for the most part. It's nice to know though that there probably will be a little bit of a sound difference because two totally different materials. You got, well, it's mostly plastic on this tip that's slapping into the metal, but for the extension you have plastic slapping into plastic, so you get a little more muter sound. Still works though. You can still definitely hear it. It's nice and audible. And well, other than that, check them out on their website. They come in both right and left-handed, like 7 different colors or so, give or take. Of course, they may be adding more in the future, and I'm sure you can request certain colors if you really want to. Of course, I don't. No, I don't speak for A3D Archery, but you never know. Like, it doesn't hurt to ask. They did supply screws as well to bolt the extension in. They give you longer screws to make up for the little extra you're losing back here. Oh, and the only other thing that I would point out is you're probably going to have to move your sight left and right a little bit because, well, actually, you're probably going to have to move your sight. Well, if you're a right-handed shooter, you're going to have to move it more out to the left because you're moving your sight to the right because the clicker extension is taking up a little bit more space. Nothing crazy. I honestly did it at 70 meters and didn't change my sight. Yes, I moved like 2 rings or so, but it wasn't anything crazy. I didn't miss the target. So, of course, probably do this at 18 meters or closer at first just to be safe. You don't want to destroy your arrows, but overall, not too hard to install, and they even give you all the pieces you need. You just got to supply your own clicker, but they got the plate for you and the screws covered, and that bushing that lets your clicker actually attach to it. So other than that, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my review of this product. Pretty cool. I would love to see a version 2 in the future, with some of these little critiques that I had or other customers have, worked out. So with that, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and as always, happy shooting.